Okay, the final bit of the puzzle is the assembly drawing. So to get you started with that, I have created a template. Okay, so if you scroll back up to the top there, it says assembly getting started. So that's what we need. So if you click on that, you download that. In fact, let's do that. Let's download it. So my setup gets me to ask where I want to do it. Yours might just go straight into downloads. So I'm just going to save that into downloads. It says I've already got it. Do I want to replace it? Yeah, why not? Okay. So from AutoCAD, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to open a drawing, and that drawing is obviously going to be the assembly getting started drawing that I downloaded. Okay, here's one I prepared earlier. So that is what you've got. Okay. Now, presuming that you've got your the drawing where you're doing everything also open, you can then just select all that, Control C for copy, flick to yeah. So you got your drawing where you've got all your other stuff, and so you just copy that like we did, flick to the tab, press Control V, and place it somewhere nicely on your sheet. Okay, so let me just open all of that. So there you can see I've got all of my drawings. Okay, so I'll just copy this over to somewhere here, and we'll see where we go from there. So you've got that, and it also comes with a red construction line. If you've got the construction layer turned off, obviously you won't see that. So in fact, let's yeah, oopsie daisy. Let's get rid of that. Let's do it. Assembly getting started. Control C. Let's flick to my drawings. Let's paste it in and drop it there. Okay, so that's a construction line. Like I say, if you had your construction layer switched off, then you wouldn't see that. So let's just, yeah, on, off, there we are. Right, so what do we do about that? Well, we need to produce that assembly drawing. Now, we don't need to worry because we've done all of this already. So we've got that long arm, we've got the short arm, we've got a grip, yeah, and that view of the grip is the same there and there. It's the same, isn't it? We don't need to worry about it. Yeah, we can just copy one and move it over. We've got the long arm, we've got the arm, we've got the T-bar, we've got the end part, we've got that bit there, and this shows us how it all goes together. We've got the pins. Okay, now why is this shaded is perhaps the first question. So if we just flick back to here, it's shaded because we're doing a cross section. What does that mean? That means that we're pretending that we've sliced our part in half and we're looking at what we see. So let me show you what I mean on the full 3D model there. If we just go to here, we can create a section view. I'm going to create it from there, and then you can see, oopsie daisy, no you can't. Let me just undo that. Let's try that again. Section view. Let's grab the arrow this time. You can see as I move it up, it's like I've chopped away up to that line. Okay, let me just set that to 6mm. That gets me to about the halfway point and tick. Yeah, so if we go to there, now you can see something that looks very similar to our view there. Obviously here we've tidied that up a bit so we can see the full T-bar there. Okay, which we can do here as well. He says, just need to move that around a bit. Is that going to let me do that? Oh. Anyway, you get the idea. That's kind of... Come on, there we go. A bit more. No, it's not going to let me do that. Anyway, there we are. So we see the full T-bar, or what that should... the rest of the T-bar should look like that all the way, but alas. Right, that's why we can't do that. Right. Yeah, close enough. There we are. Whew, there we are. So we've got the full T-bar there. Yeah. So that's, you know, we've just tidied that up a bit on our drawing. So let's just pull that back to there, which is roughly what we're looking at when we see our view in AutoCAD. Okay. So our crosshatching then, you'll notice we've got different styles of crosshatch, and each style of crosshatch shows us that it's a different part. Okay. Each style of crosshatch shows us it's a different part. Yeah, so that all those parts are the same part that we can see. That's a different part to that part. Yeah, and then these are all different parts that we've cut. Okay, I'm not showing the crosshatch on that because it's just a round bar. Technically, I probably should do that crosshatch like we just saw in the 3D view. Okay, right. So that's what we're doing there. We're chopping it in two like that. Okay, and that's why we've done that. All right. So we've got all these parts. That part's the same as that part. I'm not quite sure why it's red. Why is that red? Don't know. Anyway, you get the general idea of what we're doing there. Okay. So to produce this, well, we've already done all these drawings, so let's not stress. Let's just copy what we've already done. But if I copy that, I'm going to copy all the center lines and all the dimensions. You'll notice that in the assembly drawing, we don't put dimensions and center lines, because for clarity, this shows us how it all goes together. These are all drawings that show us how it's manufactured. This drawing shows us how it all goes together. But because you've been using my layers, we can just switch off the center layer and we can switch off the dimension layer. And I'm going to switch off that construction layer as well for now. Okay. So let's get copying. So we're just going to Control C, move up to here, Control V. Now obviously we need to rotate that. So let's do that. Rotate, select everything, right click. We can just pick a point and we can rotate it like that. Okay. Right, we can worry about moving it into place later. Okay, Control C, Control V. Right, now we need to move this into the correct spot. So let's just zoom in so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to use the move command. Okay, so what does it say next to the cursor? Select object. So we've done that, so press enter or right mouse click. Then it says specify base point. Well, I'm going to move it from the center point of that circle. And then I'm going to move it. It says specify second point. So I'm going to snap to the center point of that circle, and there we are. That's in the correct place. And it's literally just kind of doing that, really. Things that you might want to know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay. I'm then going to rotate this. Select objects. And I'm going to rotate it about the center point, and I'm going to rotate it by 45 degrees. Okay. And then I'm going to control and paste that again. Okay. M for move, right click, center point, move, right click, center point. So we've got those looking more or less correct there in the right place. So I would suggest that you align this lot up first and then move it as a block, because we need to get that angle right. And what angle do we need to put all these parts at? If only we were using a CAD package and could measure the angle of that line. If only we could do that. Oh wait, we are using a CAD package and we can measure the angle of that line, can't we? Let me just, oops daisy, let's just redo that. Delete that. L for line. Wander that along to there. Okay, so let's do that. Let's find out what that angle is. From there, click, and there, click. Okay, and there we go, 39 degrees. Okay, so we can see it's 39 degrees. So we need to rotate by 39 degrees. Okay, So what I would do personally is I would copy all of these parts. Is that a part we need to copy? Yeah, that's a part we need to copy. So copy all these parts. Let's just put them somewhere near. Right, okay. Yeah, because then we can just move that. Right click. Where from? Well, we could move that from midpoint there, and we could move that to control and right click, midpoint there, couldn't we? That fits. Yeah, and then we don't have to do, you know, let's keep things simple. Yeah. So we need to copy this part. Yeah. And we do need to rotate that, but we only need to rotate it by 90 degrees. So that's, you know, that's fairly straightforward because, you know, we can snap to that. Now we've got a bit of a problem. Can you see, if I want to select that now, that's going to be quite tricky. So if I do M for move and then I type P, that selects the things that I previously selected. And can you see, that's just selected what I previously selected. So that was P and enter. So we can move that to there. So we just need to move some things around, don't we? So let's move that down. Now, ideally, for this to look nice, I want that middle there. So the middle between there and the middle between there to go to the middle of that circle. But I don't have that point. So I think we probably need to create it. So let's do, what do we need to do? Let's do a line. I'm just going to type MID for mid, enter. I'm going to do it from the middle of there. And I'm going to do it to the end there. So that's the full length there. And then I'm going to do a line from, again, MID to the middle there. And there we are. That's our midpoint. So I'm going to move all of that. Right click, move it from that intersection to the center there. And then we know that's in the middle, so then we just need to delete those construction lines there. Okay. Right. So we're looking good. We're looking good. And then the final thing that we want is this. So Control C, Control V. Let's move that. Again, we need to rotate that by 90 degrees. So let's select that. There we go. Right, okay, let's zoom in so we can see what we're doing. I'm just going to move everything out of the way because it's getting a little bit cramped. Okay, move that from there to there. Okay, so again, this hidden detail is our drill hole, and that little point there is the end of the drill, because we've drilled that hole. So how do we fit that on? Yeah, we've got that as well, haven't we? Got that to do. Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that too much. Right, so I'm going to move that. I'm just going to select objects, right click. I'm going to move that from that corner. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to attach that to that corner. And there we go. That's more or less everything we need. Yeah, so we've done that without too much hassle. I'm going to hit the rotate command. Okay, I'm going to specify the base point there, and then I am going to move that. So let's see, that's at 0. Specify angle of rotation. What's that down to? 270. That's 180. That's 270, and that's 0. So it wants to be. Let's try. What did we say it was? Said it was 39. So it's going to be 360 minus 39, which will be, he says, doing some mental math on the fly here. Good grief, my brain stopped working. 360, 321. Okay, so let's try 321 as an angle. There we go. So we've moved it 39 round that way, which is what we need to do. So now if we press M and P for previous, we should just be able to pick that lot up from the center point of that circle to there. Right, so we've not got that right, have we? Okay, so much for that. Okay, never mind, because I did the wrong angle somewhere, didn't I? Right, let's move that to there. So what we're saying is that's 39. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Right, let's make this a bit easier. Well, for my poor adult brain anyway, I can't think and cast at the same time. Let's move it around there, and let's move it up by 39 degrees and see if that gets us in the right direction. So move that, let's select the lot again. I'm going to move that from, zoom in a bit, center point of that, oops daisy, didn't get that right, did I? M, P for previous, right click, center point of that circle, there we go. Put that there, spot on, excellent. Okay, there we go, and you're more or less finished. You're on the home straight now. Let's bring that construction layer back in. Now, if we look, that's the top of the side plates. The top of the side plate is that point just there. So if we just move everything we've done, and we move it, and we go for control and right click, and we use the quadrant, and that's the quadrant just there, and we'll place it, yeah, let's place it at the end point, why not? There. So now everything should line up, he says. If I've done my homework correctly, let's just check, shall we? Look at that. Yeah, bottom of the thing lines up with the bottom of the thing. Crikey. That's our assembly more or less done. What you need to do now is you need to go through and trim it, because if we go back and look, yeah, so I've highlighted that because we can see that yellow line going through, can't we? But if we just take the highlight off, you can't see that line on the blue shape, can you? Because it's behind the grey shape. Yeah. So we need to go through and we need to trim things. Okay. Our final part that we've not included is, of course, this bit, but that's just a circle. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the construction layer again. That's just a circle. So all we need to do is draw a circle of the correct size from that center point, and we can do that, can't we? Yeah. So you've just got to trim things out. So if we just go for the trim command, for example, right click, there we are, starting to look better already. So you just have to think what's behind other things and trim it up and make it look nice. Okay, and your final thing should look like that. Okay. What on earth? For some reason the leaders vanish when I turn off the center layer. I have no idea why. To get these things, we label each part only once, and you use the leader command. Okay. Now, okay, what you'll find, he says, is that there's no bubble. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to go to annotate, and then because you're using my template, you'll see I've got a bubble there. So you select bubble from there, multi-leader, and then number 1, okay, and it puts it in the bubble for you. All right, so that's it really. Then you put the cross hatching in, and jobs are good. All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Don't hesitate to let me know.